when you're an adult, you can just do whatever. Like, you really be wilding sometimes.
As you should be. Because, like, who are our parents to put those limits on us?
Our parents.
And that's the thing. Them motherfuckers got the definition wrong. And then told us we had the problem.
And mind your business. Hey. She just snuck in there, but hey. Hey guys, welcome to another week's episode of Eat Fruit Pod EFP. I'm your girl Kay. Eat fruit. Mind your business.
I am Killa, Big Killa, 4 A's to you, you know.
And I hope you guys had a great week. Great week. It's still nice. The raining kind of stopped. Thank God. How was your week, Killa?
I think it was great. I think it was awesome. I think so. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I'm not really remembering too many things, like other than right now, like I'm not really remembering too much, but like I'm good right now. So that means that everything preceding that must have been good. Oh, weird thing. I keep having conversations with free basing crackheads. And that happened this week.
Conversation.
And I kind of feel like I'm definitely going to get into that conversation. I need to figure out what I'm doing to attract free basing crackheads to have heartfelt conversations with me.
I think it's
because they're just talking random shit. Like they're talking real rockonomics to me. Like they're telling me the heart of why they're doing what they do. Rockonomics, baby. You know? Because you know when in here is all blocked up, you know you don't get nothing. Yes.
I'm writing it down right now. I don't even want to forget. Rockonomics.
Now I know why I'm attracting free basing crackheads, because we need titles. Here we go. And to update, my whites are clean. I did have to run out of the laundromat at some point because I didn't want to dry heave on an empty stomach when the scent of crack hit me. And there was 24 minutes on the dryer, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go outside. Maybe I'm gonna smoke something. But in me rushing out, I scared an old lady who was in there, and she was out there standing with me. And I'm like, she's not gonna want me to spark this joint right now. Oh,
fuck. Here we are.
But the whites are clean. There are white button downs for everyone. We're good.
Yeah. So what is something that you learned at Rockonomics school?
So just not necessarily judging people and what they do when there's stigma attached to their behavior. So meeting somebody who is so forthcoming in the throes of whatever they're going through, I'm always kind of like open to talking to them, even though most people will be like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You gotta vacate if somebody's on drugs or somebody who's a crackhead comes through. Like he actually spoke to me for that little bit of time and said, well, I took something from the nurse today and I took it because I'm a schizophrenic. And I'm like, oh, you're schizophrenic. So I know you're not supposed to be smoking marijuana. What does crack cocaine do to you? He didn't want to answer that. But he said, yeah, I'm not supposed to be smoking weed. I'm like, all right, cool. But like, well, is it the same thing or does it have like any kind of effect like with the crack? But I think that he's in love with the crack so much that he would never turn his back on the crack for right now. Like, yeah, but so your glass pipe, your glass thingy there, because he showed it to me, he's like this, and then he turned it and he was like, so when in here is blocked up and you don't get the smoke, you'll lose your crack. And I've been thinking cracks were like $2 all this time. This man's like, I spent $20 on crack. And I was like, whoa. And then he was like, and I spent another $15 on a next crack. So now I'm good. And I'm just hoping that this is going to be good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because it's coming like when you smoke the first time, like you're chasing your high. And he's like, yes, you're chasing that high. And I was like, yeah, this is real. So like he literally broke down the rockonomics on a whole fucking tip, like just from me washing my whites.
Eat fruit. Your business. Listen, honestly, like I was watching this documentary by this guy. I think his name was like, it was about him. I think his name was like Oliver Sacks or something, but he was like a writer, doctor, psychiatrist, all these things, right? And basically he his specialty was being able to speak with people that we would consider, I guess, with disability or special needs, or have tics or paralysis. Or back then there was this thing, don't quote me, it was like this sleeping disease where people would appear to be asleep, but they were awake.
Okay.
It was like a serious epidemic. Like, if you're not too weirded out, look it up. It was like literally. But like, he would, just like what you're speaking on, he found through research, it was just them activating or operating from another part of their brain. So his thing was never to like judge them or to act like standoffish to them, because obviously, as well, red flag. He clearly went through some things as well to get to that point. And he was like, yo, the way these people think, and I've also kind of thought that about certain stuff as well. Like, you're operating out of a different, like, some next part in your brain is connecting. Like, you think differently. They do say there's a thin line between like genius and like crazy, mentally insane. So it's just like, even this doctor, like, he spoke on it. He took, I forgot what drug it was that he said he took. It was a serious one. He's like, he did it one time for the research.
The one that like brings you back into union with the rest of the world. It's like DPA or EPA.
No,
like
no, like this was like in like some like 1960s, like it was like some serious, started with the A. I'm gonna look back so I can tell you. But
ayahuasca.
he took it and it was like, he's like, the stuff he felt, everything, like he did it for research and then never again did he take it.
Was it ayahuasca?
No, no. It's nothing that I've recently heard anyone talk. I feel like it was like really, really.
Ayahuasca is like an ancient, like, it's a shaman practice. So like it's old.
No, this is something out of a pill bottle. Like,
okay,
strong. It was something strong. Like, I guess what people would maybe call perks or something today, but it was something strong. Like, I know that for sure. Like, not too far from heroin.
Interesting.
So yeah, and he would be, it was crazy. It was like, this documentary was crazy. But say that to say, like, even from young, being at like the nursing home or with the older people and stuff like that, like just seeing that point of life from so early on, I feel like that also helped be a huge impact as to how like I interacted with people. As I mentioned, high school, my friends were all like different types of people. It wasn't just like, the Black people. Yeah, just don't judge people like that, because there's some people in the world.
And he seemed to be like a dope spirit. Like, he was so nice. He's like, yeah, mommy, this one nice, mommy. You want to try some? And I was just like, no, friend. We spoke about this. I did agree that we all do drugs, but that is not my drug of choice. And he's just like, he was gone by the time
you finished answering. He's like, I'm not sure.
He was just like into his high, and I was just like, cool. I gotta get the fuck out of here because my stomach is about to start the dry heaving.
Honestly, I feel like there's been a little bit more of an increase of them, because I literally have to be like peeling my eyes in the road now because they're just walking out into the road like more than usual. So,
definitely. Especially with the pandemic and like shelters just being a weird situation and people having like their tiny tents outside and stuff. Yeah, a lot of things like that would have caused more of them to kind of just be around and about. And hard times, who knows what happens to these people? Like, this dude literally told me he's schizophrenic, and that's the thing, like, his addiction is caught up in his mental illness.
That was another thing in this documentary, right? So his whole thing was like trying to find medication to get these people like chemically balanced into what people consider normal. So he came out with this drug called like D-Lopa or something like that, right? And he gave it to these people that, I'm talking, some of the people were like stuck like this. And he gave it to them, and like in no time, they were like clapping, walking, like he caught it on video because he's like, he knew when he wrote books about it, because back then that's how they would like let you know what they found through their research and things. He knew people wouldn't really like believe him, like other doctors and stuff, right? Because he wasn't really highly respected. There's a huge beef among doctors too, I learned. But yeah, and like, yo, it's like these people came back to their full senses, like people that had dementia, people that had like full senses. And then out of nowhere, he's like, one day, not everyone at the same time, but like the patients just went right back, if even worse than the state they were in. So it's like they literally just had like it, like the way he was explaining it, like I was just getting chills. Like it was like literally they came to our life, I guess, like rewired. It was like just a period of time though, and then right back like nothing ever happened.
That's creepy, but
It's
also
right.
makes sense. Because you can't always just like rewire somebody's chemistry.
And that was part of his history and part of his findings. Like no matter, not really no matter, they're not really going to make that popular, but he's just kind of like, no matter what medicine, whatever you do, it's just like band-aid type of thing. It can never permanently,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, those neurons be moving the way that they be moving for so long that you can't just like add something chemical to the chemistry or to the
right. Okay, one of my favorite movies. You're kind of repping the colors today too. Kill Bill, right? First one when she like couldn't walk and stuff, and she's in the back of the truck, and she's like, "Move your big toe." And eventually that shit moved until she was able to start walking and stuff. So it's just like, it's crazy to me. Not crazy, but like, even how we talk about what's that movie that we love, Doctor Strange? And how he went to go seek that guy that like was fully whatever until he became in tune with or aligned with all of his chakras.
But like also like with his real purpose, because he thought he was supposed to be a surgeon, but really he was supposed to be a higher minded like teacher / individual that was saving the world. It's like God's visions for you are bigger than the ones you have for yourself.
That part.
Yeah, and even back like with Kill Bill, I love that movie because it's just like she knew her mind was still there, and as long as her mind was still there, she was just like, I have a sound mind and I'm gonna fight. I need to find my daughter. Like I have a goal. And when she sat down in the back of the pussy wagon and willed her foot to fucking move, she's like, well, now we're ready to go. It was just one of those like, I know who I am. I know who I am. I could do this. I've seen so much. I've learned so much. Like I'm gonna fall back on all that experience that's coming back to me. And she was just the G.
She's such a G. Yeah.
She was the black mama, and she shouldn't have been the black mama, but she was still the G.
Legit. So, random facts since we're already kind of there. Pineapple fruit, guys. I know Killa and I just got carried away. Pineapple fruit for this week.
Eat fruit.
So, we didn't really like discuss this one, but I was looking just through some random news, and shout outs to the neighborhood talk. They reported that Miami hotels have sent out actual like letters to people that have booked their BBL like post-surgery rooms at their hotels, pretty much telling them like they can't come. But the way the hotels found the loophole was that okay, the way that the hotels found the loophole was that they were just like, oh, the equipment and stuff that, would be needed to facilitate such stay, we don't like have that. So if that's like the reason why you book your room, just like let us know and kindly like cancel. Like I don't know if they'll cancel the stay or like, yeah, you can't book with them. So I say that in conjunction with I was looking in the comments as well, and a lot of Airbnb hosts were also venting about BBL post-surgery clients staying in their places. And that reminds me to a video I saw a couple of weeks ago where, like when you're going, obviously when you're flying and the priority people or seniors and stuff get let on first, right? And or people in wheelchairs, things like that. And they literally had like this person took a video and it was literally like almost 15 to 20 wheelchairs, young women on their way on a flight back from Brazil to the States from post.
A lot of Cuba's doctors end up going to Brazil to do that type of work. At least like you're in good hands. But yeah, some of them talk about like what they have to go through in their healing process, but they don't really tell you that you're literally leaking fluids everywhere you go. And I'm thinking that's the reason why like the cleanup is just getting a little too scary for the cleaning crews or something. Cause that's pretty like you've been injected in a bag of places and you're healing. So yeah, they talk about their little rap things. They talk about maybe they felt a certain way after, but they don't really talk about the fact that they'd be leaking everywhere. They kind of normalize it if we're being honest, because then you'll hear, oh, I had a little thing, and then I was leaking a little bit here, so I had to go this, that, and you're like, because it's been happening all that time. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're gonna glamorize it, go learn about it. That's what this is making me think. Like everybody loves to be like, okay, well, I have to have this body. I'm gonna carve this out. I'm just gonna flatten this. I'm gonna like go research that shit. It's surgery. There's downtime, and what does it look like? But I feel like these hotels are still being stupid because like when these white women.
The comment section was basically like what you're saying, like the leakage, the bloody like sheets to the mattress, like it's too much, and whoo.
All of that. Why are you being discharged like that though? Like, why is there no aftercare set up? Maybe somebody's missing out on a lane.
Well, that's the lane that I definitely do see opening up. Strange enough, even like, around like regular now, when I'm driving now, I see literal dentists promoting like veneers, like signage. Like I see literal like a lot of spots now set up for like body sculpting and stuff. Like it's really like normalized now.
Yeah. And like
it's on some elation.
It's good that you brought that up. So I was talking to Mr. T Ford the other day, and I was telling him that like there's varying levels to this. It's not just BBLs and something as drastic as morphing your body with a knife and all that shit. Like these girls are getting things sucked here, suction cupped in here. They're doing
it's a whole lifestyle.
Yeah, very much so. The augmentation game, like there's levels to it.
There is. Sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not being shady or anything. I'm just saying what I saw yesterday. So one of the places, where did I go? I forgot where I was. I think I was picking up food somewhere or something. But I looked and I seen a place advertising body sculpting. Like it was in the same plaza. And then under it was also the sign for like the Domino's, the 10 wing special for $14.99, which was also in the same plaza. So, and I was thinking about it and I'm like, I would never see this in Yorkville. I never see this in like Bayview area or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but I would see this.
But like they're on a different wavelength when they go into their body augmenting even. And I'm not going to say that because they don't augment their body in a BBL manner. They clearly do. Very obviously it's a trend. And it's an international trend. It's not just the black girls are doing this shit trend. And like, I don't know, they're not catching it the same way, but like they're doing it. But you're right. The reason why is because they're aesthetically shifting shit. They've been doing it from back in the day, like back when people were just putting in titties and like getting a lip filled up. Like they are the ones that have been doing it from time. So they have it set up in spas and shit.
It also makes me think though, like growing up, I remember just realizing that like women could do stuff to their body. I remember that being like a moment of learning that. I remember like, it's crazy, like when I realized, or that they tried to say, when it was the introduction of like bundles. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So like now you're literally driving on road and in every like 6 plaza or so, you're seeing one of these spots.
Yep.
And like there's a bunch of young people running around with dentures in their mouth, man. Like, I'm sorry. But like, What is happening?
I think it's funny when people like present these things, and it's clear that when these people are going in, you're proposing that they do this. So hey, whatever your mouth, your oral situation is, maybe you should think about this. Oh, and you should think about this. You know what I mean? Like you keep kind of nudging it. Who knows why they figure that that's a bread and butter thing? Maybe they realize that they can get people to pay for it, but like veneers are pretty serious. Like that's a you should go home and think about it decision.
Yo, I was even like thinking about it too, and I'm like, okay. I remember, if you wanted to do something badass, like when you're younger, that would be the piercing slash tat shop. You fake your parents saying whatever the case, you know what I mean? That would be the badass place where you could kind of get into and do some shit. In 2021, right now, your kid could go get some body sculpting, fat transfer, how do you say it again? Veneers. Like it's all like literally in the plaza with the Domino's.
I was really on that Domino's special still.
But this is what I'm talking about. You're going for lunch. These like
maybe I'm going for a top up. Who knows?
It's like, what is that even like speaking to when you think about things like bulimia and you know what I mean? At least don't tempt me like that.
I think it goes back to that whole like we've been okay with not looking past the image thing, like the image still being king. Like that is literally where it's gone, is that now you can go to a plaza and like become a bot. You know what I mean? Like you can become an android if you want and still like eat some wings after.
The part that cheeses me is just like, it's for the same reason they have 10A, 11A, Brazilian, Peruvian, Mongolian hair, and they have synthetic hair. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of like, this isn't one of those things. And there are a lot of females, let's be real, as women, they can't attain certain things or maybe the full, but they still want to be as much as the look as they want or whatever the case is, are very impressionable or get the Fashion Nova, whatever version of things, right? To somewhat still fit in, but is not necessarily the better value. And like that, as we were talking about near the beginning of the episode, where it's just like being in the nursing home for pretty much like all my life and being around older people and seeing that aspect of life and what tots look like at those ages and just different things that they go through, what your skin does, just trust me, all sorts of things. And it's just kind of like, it's scary how I feel like nobody is thinking of the future. Live your life. You know what I mean? If you got the bag to do the proper thing, the top, you know what I mean? But making it like, for example, down in G-Way, there used to be a BMO bank over there by the McDonald's. They took that out and put a Krispy Kreme. So I'm talking about.
They put a crack house in the hood.
I'm getting deep. I'm sorry, guys.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
But yeah, it was just like, yeah. But yeah, to the Miami hotels, I don't know. Like, if you can actually do that, if this is going to be a trend that we see now, because that is, a lot of people don't talk about the real aftercare and the real things that happen post-surgery, especially BBLs. So,
yeah, I think I'm a chill.
Like
every time I hear something about BBLs, I'm like, yeah, I'm a chill. I'm just chill. I'm good.
Right? To be honest, at first when I was getting my boobs done, I was kind of like, so can you take like what you take out here and put it in my bum? And that's when I learned like, nah, like we can't even do that, Mom. Like we got to go through a whole nother test to see where we take the fat from and this and that, whatever. Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
So what happens to the person that's just like, yeah, sure, whatever you want. Let me rewrite what someone else's from last week.
What it is. So there's been influencers who are like, oh, you know, I just wanted to get a breast reduction. I just wanted to get a breast reduction for years. And then like their breast reduction came by ways of a BBL. Like, why? Because the doctor said, yo, I can do this for you. I'm not going to charge you any extra. Like, because you're an influencer, I actually would want to work on your body. So instead of you just getting your boobs reduced, now you end up with a whole BBL body on top of it. So you're getting fat transfer damn near from somewhere else. And it's like, nobody also doesn't want to talk about the complications from doing that. Like, baby girl, you weren't expecting to change your entire body. You were just expecting to get your boobs done. And like, you kind of fell in love with that ideal of augmenting your whole body. And she did actually like document her healing process and like the different thingies they put in I don't remember what they call them. The body snatchers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna call it. To keep them like tight and constricted while they're healing and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole like they literally go into hiding.
Yeah. They go into hiding, but they vlog the whole thing so you can see what.
Some of them do. Like I remember this, is her name like Red Fairy? I really
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, sick. Oh, sick. I love her.
The Rachel Andrea. Oh, I love her so much too. Like wig game. Everyone's like, Killa, you and your wig game has literally been studying the Rachel Andrea.
And I loved her even more after she did that. Because I was like, I rate that.
Yeah.
I make it look like magic. Like these girls, you're very real. You knew you had impact.
But that's the thing, like she had that body already.
She was just toning it up.
No, she wanted to get rid of the boobs.
Yeah.
Because her boobs were really like half her body.
Yeah.
Just sitting
on
her boobs were large. I can understand why she was just like, please.
Welcome. Yo, that's why I was like, I fucked with her. I was like, I connected so much.
She was in Bali and like she had on her swimsuit and you're just like, oh my gosh, you have such a little body. And then you're just like, there's boobs from here all the way to here, all the way down here. And you're like, I can tell that you're babysitting your boobs right now. And that's why you want to get rid of them. Or why you want to bring them down so that they can just be on their own sometimes.
Bro, it's not a nice life, I'm telling you. So moving forward, Normani and Cardi B. Well, Normani featuring Cardi B. She dropped a new song / visual, and I want to say shout out to Queen Normani because like the video looked amazing. It was called like Wild Side, I think, but like she had a lot of great looks in there, and I was just like, I love it. And like Cardi looked great, the choreo looked great, and like I'm never gonna forget where Normani like started to where she is. So I always want to like send her, you know, positive vibes and everything. She's like a dark-skinned girl out there doing her thing. Natural, beautiful, like, you know what I mean? Like she's repping, like
100%. Yeah, she seems to like not be getting into any drama and just like she seems to be able to focus on what her goals are. I didn't actually see the video, but I've been looking at the visuals and just strong Black girl visuals that make you happy, that give you that like Black girl magic when you're going through it. So I obviously rep that 100.
She inspired me to possibly do some cornrows. Like just so long to the, you know, of course 30 inches, but like, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like with this whole working out and stuff, it's like, Lord, the sweat man.
Yeah. It comes for the Black girl hair. Like you have to take care of it. You have to.
That part. And I refuse to look trash because I'm working out. Okay. So bigger things want to discuss is like, obviously we've all been going through this wave of like looking and researching into these coaches, and there's a lot more access now to seeing people that like teach different programs, all those things, right? More specifically, that's been brewing mostly in the news is like, at least our culture news is with Tony the Closer and M500, the Marcus, I believe it's Bailey guy. And one has Rona Proof, one has Recession Proof. But pretty much not to just, you know, eat fruit and mind your business. But, you know, a lot of things are said between each other. And as I said, these are both gentlemen, including with a whole nother roster of gentlemen that they've also introduced to us that are in charge of these financial groups that we watch, trust their information. I won't say trust their information, but like for the most part,
they're piquing our interest in some way. It's not necessarily about the trust, but like they're on the radar.
And they're speaking about things we know about that we want to break in our lives, i.e., generational curses, generational wealth, all those things, right? So, with that being said, I stumbled upon a video more specifically by this guy, I won't even start there. I don't know where it started, but I just do know that I seen, because I do follow Tony the Closer on social media, and he had posted, okay, why is my phone freezing right now? 1 second, guys. But Tony the Closer, he had posted, and I quote, "To teach credit to Black people and charge them 3 to 5K is criminal. Yelling financial literacy and all that BS, knowing damn well the median income in I think he meant to say, $32,000 in Black families, and you're going to teach, quote unquote, them how to get rich for 50% of their annual income." So, Killa, I know you kind of like keep to what's happening. So, like, what do you?
So the overarching everything from very bottom all the way up to the top for me is, do not let the messenger be a messiah. One of those mans, if you vetted them for yourself, you would have picked up something. Me personally, I watched like the whole series of events, how it went down on Big Facts, and then it went to EYL and all that kind of stuff. Being honest, for me personally, when it comes to him 500, I hadn't actually crossed him directly until I saw him with, I keep calling him Jody, but I think his name is Justin, the Forex guy, then the other one, the event space guy, another guy that looked like an extra from 112, and sorry, but you had that vibe, that old dark like t-shirt, black t-shirt with like the rhinestones or like the things on it, and it's like a cross,
yeah,
a big throne or like a big crown or some shit. And the big black glasses, and I was like, very the S, the L, the I, the M, and I was like, okay, cool. But anyway, that's the only time I've ever really like taken in him 500, and it was more so about them saying, hey, we're a community, we're here to help people. They weren't outright selling like their individual picks, but tying that in, never actually watched it because I was like, hey, when you're dealing with credit, you have to be careful, especially when you're talking to people who come from an impoverished position. Credit can help you do a lot of things, but you do have to be careful what you're telling people who don't have any other prior information towards that shit. So I never really got into it because I'm like, that's how I felt about it. So I never tuned in. Tying it in, it's the accountant, when he talks about all the different aspects, you see everybody making the rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I picked them all up on the Suckers, the old Sleepers for Suckers. It was a conference of some sort, but it was definitely under the Social Proof podcast. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, they just all make the same rounds. And this, what I saw first is like, so now that makes sense. You're all making the rounds. JT made a really good point on something that I was listening to today, because they had Tony the Closer.
Pocket watching with JT.
Shout out. Whoa, yeah.
You really did a great job on just like explaining everything as fair as possible.
Keeping it real, but also like sticking to what you knew. Because that seems to be the pushback, where it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, can't tell me some emotional shit when I know what I'm talking about. You can't give me, I don't love myself and my people, when I just gave you facts. That's just what it is. But
I didn't mean to, but here we are.
But yeah, like he made some really good points on them. And one of the points that they made is like, we're not trying to tell you that anybody's bad. We're saying that any information that someone gives you, whether they seem like an authority, whether they seem likable, or like maybe you could have been their friend in life, you do need to vet them and make sure that what you're accepting into your subconscious is good for you. And one of the reasons why they were saying, well, we kind of had to blow the lid off of this. And it wasn't necessarily Tony the Closer. I'm not going to lie. I really dug his spirit, but I don't really know where he falls in this and what his real motivations are, because I do believe he has more than one, whether that be good or bad. But just bringing it down to, if these guys, like, this is how you've had a lot of tyrants in your life. This is how you've had politicians in your life, because they're paying people to be infomercials when they're supposed to be informational. Right? And like,
ooh, that is the thin line right there. Is it information or informational?
No, what was the other one? What are they called again? Infomercials. So like they're giving you information, but they're selling. They're not giving you information because it's good for you, whatever. They're giving it to you so that they can sell it to you to bait you in a little bit more. And they were like, it's not that there's anything wrong with these guys. Hey, a dude gave you his play. Maybe if he kept some of the like dry snitching back, because for me, that's what I'm getting. I'm like, hey, dude, maybe you should have had a few more gatekeepers where people would have to come in and find out what you were doing, as opposed to you putting it out there as a rinse for everybody to think about.
Exactly.
And it's just like, these people have the ability to influence you in a way that you've trusted to be organic, and it isn't. And that means that anybody can come and market to these people to get straight to your brain. And he was saying, like, JT specifically, or his friend, I can't remember which one of the two of them was saying it, but they were like, what if it was like an evil white person that these people were bringing to you and seconding and like putting on their platform because that person paid to have a harmful or negative message to you that you wouldn't have even picked up because they vetted it for you. And that's where they're saying, like, there does need to be some kind of accountability.
Or they got paid for it while you're paying to learn from them when they didn't even really.
Payola.
It's a whole heap of mix up ham blender, may I tell you, olive.
I love it. I don't know. I love it. Something about like a Black man just sitting here saying, so I have receipts and I have facts and I'm doing this. I love seeing that. But also, this is how our community absorbs information, whether we like to believe it or not. We do like drama. This is sexy to me. It's sexy. It's a little sexy drama. Like, at the end of the day, these guys are all making a shit ton of money. Unless the feds came and knocked on baby boy's door, who the heck cares? He's making money off of this shit. Or he's being positioned to make more money off of this shit while we kind of like kya on the beef. But I love that it's got out there, because you have these top tier dudes that came out looking like they were so perfect, and we're not canceling them. We're saying, hey, yo, here's your receipts, and now you need to be responsible to who you say you are to us, because we do need people like you. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that there's a possibility that just what they're absorbing might help them sort through that financial literacy and maybe take a little bit more on for themselves, where they're doing a little research. You know what I mean? They're doing a little backup things for themselves.
Yeah. And like, you know, watching the IGTVs and stuff like that, like at the end of the day, this is Black millionaires. And I'm not trying to see one become jailed and impoverished and other thing that, you know what I mean? It's just as one of the best questions I heard about this situation, which is like, who do we learn from? And we have to be able to trust them, right? So we have to know that just because we're seeing it on YouTube or they have a really successful ads manager, eat fruit and mind your business, that you still have to do your research and authenticate as to who you really trust and who, because as Pocket Watching with JT said, finances isn't sexy. And that's why you don't see a lot of them going viral on the circuit that you see these guys going. So not to say you can't trust them, personally for me, I'll be real, like I did unfollow a couple of them and unsubscribe to their podcast because I'm kind of like, wow, like I did feel like something was different, but do you? And you know, and to be fair on the other side, taking a course doesn't mean you automatically become successful, etc. Right? But they know what they're selling and they know how they're pitching it. Like anyone from Toronto, like I've worked at Weedman, you worked at any telemarketing sales spot. Like,
yeah,
I'm hearing something like only 9% of their people actually like complete the course.
and to me, that's the rinse. It's like you're not selling them a new lifestyle; you're selling them your lifestyle. But it's up to them to do what they have to do. And most people know like that commitment was never there before they made the purchase. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So hopefully these gentlemen can work it out. And I mean, a lot of signs are leading to that specific advice that people were referencing with M500 was indeed bank fraud and money laundering. But I don't want to like, I don't work at them places.
I'm going to be like, I have to be like stupid honest. I'm going to look at anybody who's going to give me a full system of a hustle and I'm going to listen to it. Now, I've worked for compliance in one of the big 5 banks. Yeah, those things are illegal. But I also know that when it comes to claiming those things as illegal, it's almost like the banking system used the law in order to create like walls in their market so that nobody else can do what they did. And that's why I'll listen. Now, obviously, I'm not saying go do illegal shit and get in trouble for it, but I understand the man kind of like saying, hey, sometimes like there's a risk. Are you willing to take this risk for this reward? I am not backing up bank fraud. Because when they broke it down, it basically ended up becoming something where like you have to have like Nini, Ray Ray, TT, Nunu, and Auntie Mimi to like second that and take it to the check cashing place for you. And I'm like, that's some shit you don't need to be putting Black people through. Like they don't need to be thinking that that's a way to be moving. But yeah, like I would listen to you if you feel like you got game. Like it's up to me to say, hey, that doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? Like the man offered me that, and I was like, it does not work for me, sir. It's okay.
Just the risk that you're taking, like, you know what I mean? Moving on. Moving on. Yeah, let's just be aware of kind of like what we're getting this information from. I know the algorithms hit and it's really dope. It sounds really fast, really cool, really easy. But for one, for our Canadians, know that what they do over there, we can't always do over here. So already that separates. And two, like just read for yourselves. Like I know we see a lot of like tidbits and stuff on Instagram or because we see it post like on the shade room or something, it gotta be true. Like no, everyone makes mistakes and we just need to verify the information because especially when it comes to this type of stuff, I feel like nah man, we want to do it right. We want to really break that generational wealth, and if you want to cut corners, that is up to you at your own risk. You know what I mean? But there we are.
One thing I got from this is don't fucking cut corners. That's one of the things I got from it. Because when you look at Tony the Closer with all his receipts, but also with his full ass brand behind him and no big issue, it's just kind of like, know what you're talking about. Make sure that you do your research. You do want to be that nigga that's standing on facts.
Right? Yeah, we're just going to see how this pans out. But like, as I said, nobody's trying to see like this guy. You know, man just have to fix up a little bit. They have to fix up. So what did you want to discuss this week, Killa? Or did you want to get into Play on Vogue?
Were we still discussing lip service with Pressa?
I totally forgot. But it was great. We can, for sure. Why did I not? I feel really...
It was really cute.
Organized today. I'm sorry, guys.
It was really cute. Like, it was a really cute interview. I don't think I would have given it as much of a chance if his cuteness didn't like get worked in. And like they did a really good job of being soft with him because he is quite young. Like you watch him and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I loved how, is it Gia? She just kind of like Angela time with him. My young you.
Orange hair one?
Yeah.
Or is that L'Oreal?
No, L'Oreal was the other one.
Okay, she seemed to have taken a liking to him. Like she was like, "Oh, let me be your auntie. I love you, baby." But yeah, like overall, they didn't press him too hard. Like they took on his personality and the fact that he's like a little like cute shy guy that just happened to grow up in fucking Driftwood, so he knows some shit. It was really cute. That's what I got from it, and just like seeing someone in that innocent like young love phase was also nice to see. Just like they brought up her name changed. It was a very, very cute situation. And I just love seeing a young Black boy that loves women. Like he loves his mom, he loves his grandma. Yeah. The future of him and his girlfriend is the future of him and his girlfriend, but the way he speaks about her, he speaks about her very highly, and it's nice.
I love when he did the Aaliyah reference. And I'm like,
I love when he was just like,
I'm like, that little moment right there, like,
puts her on high esteem.
They don't know how much that as a Black man helps her now as a Black woman, just by not even the fact that it's just her man, but a man backing her like that and being like, he's sexy. I told her, she gives me Aaliyah vibe. She's bringing it back, like that alone. So beautiful. Rooting for you, Pressa. Like, so beautiful.
100%. So yeah, they were a bag of cuties. It was such a cute interview.
Love it.
It made like, as much as I kind of just feel like on some of the vibes, it was they were very professional. They did a really good job. Great interview.
Yeah, it was great. Like as they said, for him, like he's come so far, and seeing that and how he was talking about her as such a lady, and just every time now I see an interview with him, you learn something more and more, and the way he's putting it together, like he's really, yeah, he's serious about being an artist, but he's really serious. Like he's taking it in, he's doing his homework. You could tell he sat, it was just great. It was great. You know what I mean? He had his dog, that's a female as well. They said, like, go ahead, King.
Yeah, you're doing good, youngin.
Yeah, man.
Like, we're backing you. Like when he's like, "Oh, I don't really talk to girls in like Toronto because I don't know who their cousin is."
And I just 1,000%.
100%. I'm like, it could very well be my cousin, and I'd be the last to know. Boo, you are absolutely right to feel that way.
Or even just as he said, the life he's gone through. Like we know how Toronto is. Link to another link, and now you're just like laid out somewhere. You're like
in a place that has like less degrees of separation than the average city.
Bruh, like, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Because niggas act like that, but had he come back to Toronto, they either would have tried to fly him or, like, see him locked up, incarcerated for the rest of his life while his father is already in there while going through everything. Nah, man. Mm-hmm. Stop that. Like, let a young king through. Let him go on through. And, rooting for all of them. Rooting for all of them. He's paving a way. Now they can legit say, yo, I seen a literal Toronto man that I was here smoking a backwood with on the red carpet at the BET Awards with his gal. Like, come on, please. He gets it. He's definitely maturing. I'll say that. He's getting it.
I agree. You're saying young sir.
Yeah, and shout out to Koi as well, like, because a lot of the times you could tell, like, when a guy gets with a certain female, whether it's your friend or, like, a family member, firstly, for me, you could just see, like, how they really positively, like, change them. You know what I mean? Like, I look at my dad and I'm like, I thank God for his wife. Like, Mom, she is, like, one of my best friends. Like, to be honest, I'll link her like before I link my dad. Like, and just like when she came in his life, even before they were like a couple and everything, like he just started acting his age, and it was beautiful to witness and beautiful to finally experience. You know what I mean? So you can really see how when you're with someone and it's healthy or you come in with great intentions, how sometimes it can like there's no denying the energy and what we see with them.
Yeah.
Regardless of everything, like as I said, reading the body language, and as soon as I seen it, I was like, yep, makes sense. I'm there. I'm with it. Like, you know what I mean? But beyond the fact that they have matching hairstyles, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? It's just this vibe I pick up with the twin. Even the way he spoke, oh, she has a gig, whatever. She tries to bring me in. Like, one, she's helping out her man. Two, on the other side, he has no issues being like, yeah, my girl plugged me in. Because that's Toronto guys shit. They love to flex on their girl. Yeah, my girl works here. Yeah, my girl has a plug to this. So go ahead, King. You already have a girl that can buy her own jewels, her own things. Her dad is fucking Benzino, my nigga. Regardless of what's happening now, like that's some serious hip hop legend shit. So go ahead, true.
Exactly.
Eat fruit and mind your business. He's like, nobody exists before Koi. Damn.
He didn't even want to talk about all that. He was like,
Mina with it.
We're not going.
No matter.
We're not going there today.
All right. So did you have Play on Vogue or how you feel?
We can just do a little quick Play on Vogue. Right. So Play on Vogue this week.
The clap.
Let me tell you something, okay, youngin? All right.
Let's go. I love it. My bad.
So I'm going to talk to the young ladies who are trying to get their model game on. I'm going to like give you maybe like 1-2 little tidbits on how to run your shit. So we talk a lot about research and taking maybe parts of your dream into your own hands and maybe putting some active faith or investment into what it is you want to do. I would always start with basic research of the industry that you're trying to go into. That goes for looking for top 10 media companies, looking for top 10 film companies, top 10 magazine outlets, whether they be online or not. Top 10 cities for shows, top 10 shows in this city for models, blah, 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 blah. Like we have a bag of different fashion shows that go on in the city. And I'm pretty sure if you contacted them, they'd tell you who you would need to contact in order to be part of it, whether that be like representation or otherwise. So my first tidbit for you is research deep out of the market that you want to get into, which would be modeling. Then my other thing, my last thing would be to hit social media and start seeing how other people are living. Now, my micro advice in that is don't get too caught up in the stuff that looks beautiful. Find everybody. Find people who say, hey, I had to work and like, I am a waitress and I had 5 castings today in between my 12-hour shift. And I really want this stuff. I really, really need to look for dancers who are doing the same thing. Find out the cities that they're going to. You know what I mean? One thing about social media that I would also suggest is like when you find some people that make sense, go on their DMs and literally ask them some questions. Like make some people your fucking mentors, and they might not want to, but like reach out, because every game you play is going to be a social game, and you're going to want to like low key starting to get to know who can make a move, who you should know from who you shouldn't know. Last but not least, I'm going to tell you to know your fucking self, because there's a bag of really good looking males and females out there who could very well do it that actually won't be doing it. They're going to be working at the convenience store until whenever the fuck they choose not to, off the strength that as we see all these industries are about who's willing to give you that push and who's willing to give you access to their network. It's a very dirty game. It's a very dirty industry. Whether I would love to say if you were just a woman, you'd be targeted, but young men, you are targeted just as much. as women are, and you get paid even less than the women do. But also you're told by society to suck it the F up after it happens. So protect your neck, know yourself, make sure this is something that you really want to do. Ask yourself, is it just that it looks pretty? Or do you feel like there's some art in you to want to like get that out? And like, if you want to be famous, that's fine. That's all great. But like, make sure that you're going to be willing to do the work and be responsible, not just for your dream, but for your success in the places that would be you governing yourself. So like, just make sure you're ready to get into an industry like that, where like you essentially become a product. And that's my play on vote today. I was just like, you know what? Give these motherfuckers someplace to start. And like, I'm not giving you sexy shit to start on, because it's nothing you ever want to do starts off sexy
at all.
But like, they're facts. You need to start with facts. And really like tell yourself what this industry really is. Like, I've had friends that have fallen out of line in a way that's compromising for me within the industry, but I have 24 years of experience, so I know how to talk that out. Like, that's just another business meeting for me. But in the start, I'm always trying to be an informed consumer. It kind of fell in my lap. I luckily got to deal with reputable people, and even in the reputable people that I got to deal with, the mentalities were so fucked up that even still, like, I still had to know myself. So, young person trying to get your shit in, you really feel like you're a shoe-in, I actually would just go straight to the model agency in your town and see what they say. And I'm not telling you they're going to say what you want them to say. They might all say some shit just because they had a bad day that day. But I would go in there and start catching some gauges, but also let your face be seen, but also let them walk you around and show you what they do on a day-to-day basis, what level of person they represent. Do you see any Mary Claire or any Vogue or any Harper's Bazaar on the wall? Go in and explore. But like, every time you explore, take that step back and start like analyzing and assessing what you've learned about getting into that industry that you want to be about. And long story short, I'm just like, be smart. Like, use whatever intelligence you do have. Don't sell yourself short. Don't just align yourself with an image or a bigger brand. Because I'm seeing this reoccurring theme, even in what we were talking about today. Like, smoke and mirrors tells you that it's this, but really it's that. And like, you're going to be the one that's going to have to manage that in the long run.
Wow, that is a lot of free game. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, I feel like there's not nothing like much else that's like worth discussing. Prayers out to Alicia Keys, who just announced that Frankie passed away.
Keisha Cole.
Yeah.
Moment of silence, because I don't care what was going on in Frankie's life. She was clearly a phenomenal woman.
Oh yeah. Got nothing but great vibes from her, regardless what they portray.
100%. And like, just because there was so much going on between her and her children, like, I know her children are in a space right now. So yeah, prayer, blessings, and strength going out.
It was allegedly
her whole entire family.
It was allegedly her birthday today.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a lot. But just to balance it out, shout outs to Karuchi Tran, and she won her first daytime Emmy for outstanding performance by a lead. I'm just it's it.
But you know what? She's another hardworking girl. She got labeled, oh, you just wanted to be with the star, you just wanted the money, you just wanted the lifestyle. And I'm like, do you guys know she was kind of living it without him?
She was like at work when he found her.
She's a hardworking girl. She's a girl that puts a lot of work into her shit, and now she has an Emmy because she's been putting work in on being an actress.
Very proud of her. Very proud of her. So, you know, Queens queening, doing their thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for her. I'm gonna share the video on the blog. But yeah, I think that's good for us, guys. How's your week been? Let us know. Like, share, subscribe, hit us up. Killa, I've been thinking of maybe possibly adding like a listening letters kind of section. Maybe an email we could do or something where people can like, if they you know, want to share something or have our opinion on something, they can let us know. Shout outs to everyone that listened last week and gave feedback.
That would actually be awesome because if you're listening in, you can kind of help us know what you want to hear. Like give us some topics that you want us to cover, or like if you see anything crypto, anything higher minded, anything, you know, Toronto entertainment, like send it to us and maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, there we go. So blessings to all y'all this week. Okay, and EFP family, we love you. Killa, you look fucking amazing. And
darling,
eat fruit, mind your business.
Fruit and mind your business.